Yo, what's going on, guys? Matthias here, and today in this, let me fix that. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about how, like, the whole process was of me getting arrested, and, yeah, just what happened and how crazy it was and everything. I asked around, and I said, would you guys rather me make a crypto video today, or would you rather me make a jail video? And almost everyone said jail, so here you go. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, so December 20th, 2017. The night before the actual day I got arrested, I knew I was going to be because my grandma told me in the car. She's like, yeah, I talked to the police officer at your school today. He said after you're done taking the exams tomorrow, you're actually going to be arrested. And so I was just thinking about it the whole night. I was like, damn, tomorrow I'm really going to be arrested. So I wake up in the morning and I just know today's doomsday. So anyway, I get up, get dressed, do my stuff, and then get in the car. It's raining outside, and the whole day, it was a pretty bad day. It's raining outside, so we're driving to my school. She drops me off. She's like, okay, I love you. Because after this, I'm not going to see her for like another month because I actually moved back in with my dad. But, yeah, so she drops me off. She's like, I love you. And I just walk inside and go wait in the front office so the in-school suspension teacher can get here and school can get started. So I'm waiting there. School starts. I go to the in-school suspension room, you know, like yesterday, like the day before that, actually. And, I just finished the rest of my exams throughout the whole day, and I'm just sitting there with everyone else, and a few people in there already know that I'm gonna get arrested, and they're expecting it too. But yeah, I'm just sitting in there, and there's 8 periods in our school day. Sorry. There's 8 periods in our school day, and the 7th period bell rings, and I'm just sitting there because I don't think they're gonna come until like after school, and I'm just sitting at my desk. And then I see the door open behind me and 2 police officers walk in. Now this is where actually the whole thing starts. So they walk over to me, and immediately I just start packing up my stuff into my backpack because I know I'm leaving. And yeah, they walk me out and into the school's like police little officer thing or whatever. And they walk me in there, they're like, have a seat please. And then they start going and they're like, it's nothing personal, you know, this is just our job and everything. And I was like, yeah, I know, you're completely fine. Do whatever you have to do. So they get these little cards, because I guess the cop doesn't even know what the rights are. Oh shit. I guess the cop doesn't even know what the rights are. So he has to like stare at these cards while he's reading them to me. He's like, you have the right to remain silent. And I was just, and I was like, really? Like you don't even know the fucking Miranda rights? So he struggles reading those off to me. He's stuttering and everything. And then he asked me, so we want to know who's been doing this and who's been selling these. And I was like, I didn't say anything. And he's like, do you have anything to say? And I was like, yeah, I'd rather talk to my dad before I say anything to you guys. He's like, okay, I can respect that. And I was like, yeah. And so at this point, the assistant principal, the one who initially got me in trouble, she walks into the room. And she's like, yeah, you can put all your stuff in your backpack, and we're going to leave it up at the school so your dad can come get it later. And I was like, okay. So I put everything in my bag. So I put my phone and everything into my backpack, my computer and everything, and I put it in there, and then I hand her it. And they're like, okay, we're going to stand up and search you real quick. So they stand up, search me. I had to hold my arms up. They searched me, they pat me down and everything. I didn't have anything on me, so I was good. And they're like, okay, we're going to walk you outside, and then we're going to arrest you outside. And I was like, okay, it's fine. So we walk out the front door of my school, and then we walk down to the cop car that's pulled up in the front area where the driveway is. And so I stand in front of the cop car, and they're like, okay, can you put your hands behind your back, please? I was like, damn, I'm really getting arrested right now. So I put my hands behind my back, and the guy's hands and my hands are both shaking. So it took a minute to get the cuffs on, and he was like clicking them together, and he clicked them really fucking tight. It hurt, like it really hurt, and I couldn't move or anything. So he clicks them on, and they talk for a second, and then the old dude opens up the back door. He's like, okay, step inside. And so I get in, and the back of a cop car is not a place you want to be. It's completely hard plastic, and it was just so bad. So my hands are behind my back. I'm sitting in the back of the cop car like this. I can't move or anything. And yeah, I'm just sitting in the back of the cop car. He puts that strap belt over me, and then at this point I realized, like, damn, I really fucked up. So he gets in the car, and then it's about a 45-minute drive to the county jail because I live in a small town, so they don't really have jail close to them. So we drive 45 minutes, then we finally pull up to the place, and this place has like barbed wire all over the fences and everything. And I was like, oh fuck, this is really happening. So he like we pull into this garage thing, and he's like, okay, you can get out of the car. And then he like unstraps my belt, and I like struggle to get out because my hands are behind my back. So I get out of the car and I walk around, and then there's this van that also pulled in with us. And the other officer opens the door of the van, and like 5 guys in prison jumpsuits just jump out of the car. And I was like, holy fuck. And they all have like tatted up on their neck, tats on their face. And they're looking at me, they're like, I was just sitting there. And so they're like, okay, you can follow them. And so the cops behind me, and like we're walking inside. And like right when you walk in the front door, there's like this little, there's a door right here, and there's a little hallway right here, and then there's like a bars. There's like, you know, like there's a cell bars. Yeah. So before you can get into the actual place, you have to be searched right there. So he's like, okay, I need you to take your shoes and socks off, and I need you to like, he made me like do my shirt and everything, and like go through my hair, and he went through my shoes and socks and everything. And so I had to walk around that disgusting ass jail barefoot for like an hour, and it was disgusting. And so I asked him, I was like, can I put my socks back on? And he's like, no. And I was like, all right. So then we go to the other hallway, and like this is where you book your items. So if like you brought your phone or anything, and they just they write it down and get everything in like bags and everything. And I was wearing a hoodie, and I didn't know that if you were wearing a hoodie, they'll make you take it off and give you like an orange prison shirt or jail shirt or whatever. And so I was like, fuck, now I have to wear this thing. So they give me it, they take my shoes too, and give me these little orange sandals that were fucking shitty. They look like jandals these girls are wearing all the time, but yeah, they were shitty. And so at this point I have an orange shirt on, my jeans from school, and some orange jail jandals. So yeah, the fit was pretty icy that day, I'm not gonna lie. But once I have that on, I stand in line, and then they're like, okay, go over, stand in that red box. And there was 2 guys in that red box. One of them had like tattoo, like tears right here. He had tattoos all over his arms and everything. And he was a white guy. And then the other guy next to me was some black guy who had like a Chicago Bulls outfit on. And I guess they didn't make him take it off. So it's the white dude with a bunch of tattoos, me in the middle, and then the black guy. And so we had to go like fill out our medical things, like, are you sick, are you gonna kill yourself? And I was like, no sir, no sir. And they're like, okay. And so this is where they put me in. So there's this big holding cell. There's one on this side for men and one on this side for women. And there's just like 3 big clear windows on top, and then there's a big ass metal door right there that they have to scan to open. And so like all the guys in there are just like staring out the window looking at me. And the other guys, they're not just staring at me, but yeah, they're just looking out the window the whole time, because it's bad. So like, okay, gentlemen, follow the line, and then go into that cell. And I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So they open the door, they close it, I walk in, and it's just, there's like a metal bench all along one side of the wall, and then in the corner there's 2 toilets, and that's really it. And the rest was disgusting. Like the floor was disgusting. It had food all over it. There was like fucking sandwiches and shit all over the floor. There's old cartons and shit. It was so gross. And the whole bench was full of people. There was people laying down and shit on it, so I had nowhere to sit. So what I did was I just went and sat down in the middle of the floor. And there was like 3 other people sitting on the floor because there's just no room. It was completely packed full of people in that cell. So I'm just sitting on the floor, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't be in here. And they had these 2 phones on the wall, but I didn't know like how to use them or anything. So I'm just sitting there for like an hour, and then everyone's talking about why they're in here and everything, and I'm just completely silent. And I was like, so how do I get out of here? And everyone's like, go call. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, you're not gonna have anything happening until you go call. So I was like, oh shit. So I'm going to call my dad like 3 times, and the phones in there are so weird, like, and you know how when you call someone it's like brrr, they don't have it, it's completely silent. So like I'm sitting there with the phone up to my ear, silent. I'm like, does this work or something? So I hang up 3 times, and then this guy's like, bro, do you know how to use the phone? And I was like, nah. He's like, okay, it's gonna be silent, you gotta wait till the lady starts talking. I was like, oh shit, okay. So I put it up, and the lady's like, please wait while you're whatever you call it, like while your dad was putting in his credit card information, because it costs $15 to make one call in prison. Or why do I keep saying that? Jail. It costs $15 to make a call in jail. So I'm sitting there, and then my dad finally enters, like, hello? And I'm like, Dad, I'm in here. And he's like, fuck, alright. He's like, so what do I need to do? I was like, they told me that the judge hasn't came yet, and my bond hasn't been set. But, I just don't know what to do. They said you can look me up and see my bond and then come up here and pay. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna get everything handled, just wait in there. And I was like, okay, thank you. And so like I hang up and I go back to sit, and there's this college kid who's in there with me, and he's in there for 48 hours because he had like a DWI, and then he violated his probation, so he had to spend like the weekend in jail and shit. And he's in there, he's like, yeah man, you'll be fine, it's just one pill of Adderall, it's your first offense, you'll be good. You'll probably just get like probation for a couple months, and then you'll be done with it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, so what's my bond gonna be? And he's probably gonna be like, he was like $1,000 probably. And so what a bond is, you only have to pay 10% of it to get out. But the thing is, if you only pay 10% and not the full thing, you actually have to go through a bond company, which has a bunch of rules that you have to follow after they pay for you to get out. So yeah, that's what I ended up having to do. So I'm in there for a few hours, and they all told me, they're like, yeah, the judge comes in here 3 times a day to set the bonds, so he already came twice today. And I was like, so he's gonna come one more time? And they're like, yeah. So at this point it's like 6:30 p.m. and we're all just sitting there, and we see this fat guy walk here, and they're like, oh yeah, it's a judge. I was like, what? And I look up, and like this fat old guy standing out there. I was like, thank God. And they all told me like, yeah, this judge is really cool. And I was like, okay, sweet. And he, like, by the way he was talking, I was like, oh yeah, he's a good dude. So he's just sitting out there in the front office doing like mock, like quick trials. He's like, your bond is set at $35,000. And while I was waiting for that, there was this one 47-year-old dude, and he was on like, he had 3 felonies, and his bond was $35,000. And so he's like, yeah, I'm not getting out of here, man. I'm going to be in here for months. And I was like, damn, that fucking sucks. He's like, yeah, you don't want to end up like me. We don't ever want to see you back in here. And then there was just like another guy who was sitting next to us, and he was just like telling us about how he had a girlfriend pregnant in Florida by herself raising a kid, and then he had another girl pregnant here raising his kid. And there's another guy on the floor. He's like, yeah, I've been in here for 2 years. And then the craziest one was there's this guy with a purple beard. And he was in state prison for 16 years and got released last year. And then now he's back in jail because he got caught with a fucking joint in his car. So now he's probably done. Like, he's probably going to be in there for a couple years now. So I'm like, damn, I really don't want to end up like these people. I'm never coming back to this place again. So then and there I decided I'm not doing anything illegal anymore. I'm going to start doing my YouTube. I'm going to start doing all my stuff, and I'm going to be something. So they're like, Matthias Curtis, can you come out here please? And I was like, oh. And this one like Mexican guy, he's like a 40-year-old Mexican guy, his face is like permanently a frown. He's like and he's like, follow the yellow line. And I was like, okay. And he like takes me into this room. There's like this little scanner thing on one side, and there's like a backdrop to take your picture on the other side. He's like, okay, we're gonna take your fingerprints. And so he like grabs my hand, the shit out of my hand, he like puts it against the thing, and it hurt. Like, he's like pressing down his heart. He's like, stop putting pressure on. And I was like, you're the one pushing my hand down. And he's like, don't talk back to me. And so he's like pushing my hand down, pushing my other hand down. He's like, okay, you gotta take your picture. So he's like, so he puts me up against his backdrop, and he's like, look at the camera. Now I'm looking at the camera, and he takes it, and yeah, and then after that he's like, okay, your bond's been posted, we're waiting on the paperwork to come through. I was like, really? And then he's like, yeah, so just go get your stuff back. And so he leaves me in this room, and I open this door, and it says strip search on top. I open this door, and I look inside, and there's just a fucking butt-naked, big-ass black dude in there. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, oh shit. And I was like, my bad, he just told me to walk in there. He's like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. And he's like, I let him finish putting his clothes back on, and then I walk inside, and I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry about that guy. That guy just told me to walk straight through the door. He's like, yeah, whatever. And so I have to wait like 5 minutes to get all my clothes back. I get my hoodie back on, I get my shoes back. And they're like, okay, you go stand in that red box until we tell you. So I'm standing in that red box, and they're like, alright, you and that other dude, that other black guy who's in there changing, y'all two follow me. And so we like walk out, we're walking through the front thing, and they had to buzz like 8 doors, like and to get through. So we finally get through, and they're like, okay, and the guy just walks out, like the guy in front of me, like the black dude, he just walks out, and I turned to the officer, I was like, I shook his hand, I was like, hey, I'm never coming back to this place again, thanks for scaring me straight. And he's like, yeah man, you don't want to end up like these guys. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I just walk out the front, and then I'm just sitting in the front waiting for my dad to come, and he finally comes, and then I go home. The first thing I did was take a shower because that place smelled like fucking shit. But anyway, that's so far. I'm still gonna have to go to court and everything for all this, but at least I'm out. But I'm gonna have to sell all my shit to pay for my bond, because it was actually a $5,000 bond, not a $1,000 bond, so pretty fucked. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, and I'm gonna keep making videos. So yeah, that's it. Peace.